Okay, so day three of the 67 Steps program. Today was about humility. Tai was talking about how you can go out there to find mentors that can help you grow faster in the direction you wanna reach. So mentors in business, mentors in health, whichever area of your life you're trying to grow. I think humility is important because, especially for me, I think a lot of times I'm maybe too scared to ask for help or too proud. I think maybe too proud to ask for help, and that kind of slows you down because maybe you think you can figure everything out for yourself, but you end up making all the mistakes. Maybe you didn't have to make all those mistakes if you found someone who is already 5, 10 years ahead of where you wanted to be in the future. Then you could learn from them and shortcut that process. So definitely, I've looked up people who are thought leaders in certain industries to learn online from people, and they're kind of like mentors, but I've not had any direct one-to-one relationships, especially in business, which is one area that I really think I need a mentor. If I want to, get over some of the growth hurdles I'm having with my business now, I think that would be not easier, but I'll be able to learn much faster, and probably get past some of these things instead of trying to figure everything out for myself. So that's definitely one area I need to think about. He's asking questions like how many mentors have you acquired, how many people have you tracked down to learn from, have you gone through your competitors. So I've done some of those things online, but like I said, face to face, I already haven't made enough effort. And then he's got this way of scoring how humble you've been, what your humility score is. So it's rating yourself from 1 to 10 on these different factors. The first one is reading books. From 1 to 10, I would say I'm about a 6 because I do love books. Carry my Kindle around everywhere, and probably spend $50 to $100 a month on books. So definitely always trying to learn and grow. But probably consistency is the key. Some days I'll read tons, then maybe I'll go a week or two without reading as much, and get caught up with other stuff, and then forget about it. So I'm trying to find a way to work that into a routine to make it more consistent, and that's definitely I can definitely improve from that. So six isn't good enough. The next one is finding mentors to help you. So from 1 to 10, I think I've done this, like I said, not very well, quite poorly. So I've rated myself a 4 there. I found some good mentors in general, general people that I admire, look up to, and been able to network through some of their events. Um, like the Sovereign Man is one example. And so there's a few things like that where I've had the opportunity to meet some really cool people and keep in touch with them, but I've not had any direct mentorship, and that's definitely something I need to do much better. So not just from online people and resources, but actually finding people in the real world, reaching out to them, and finding a way to show that you can add value to them as well. I think the hardest thing with approaching mentors is the really good ones probably say no many times, and so again, you have to get over that fear of rejection, and you have to find a way to be persuasive and to be persistent, and to be able to persuade them that there's value in it for them as well. One good tip he gave was I think maybe it was Ty or someone else, was to remind that person who you want to be your mentor, remind them of how they were when they were young and looking out, starting out just like where you are now. Trying to remind them what that was like for them, and then trying to link that to what you're doing. And if your mission is aligned to their skill level or their expertise, and you really want to move in the direction they are, and you can explain that, then you've got a much better chance. If you're doing this type of business, but you want to go find a mentor and he's doing some other type of business, then there's not so much connection there. Not that might be harder for you to convince him. So that's definitely something to think about, is which mentors are in the area of the business you want to go into. So I spent quite a bit of time online today searching for different types of mentors that I think are really aligned with my mission. Um, in business, I'm doing online marketing, and I think I also want to move into health and fitness. So I'm looking at people that are in that space, some of the podcasts I listen to, some of the people I respect, and then finding out more about their story, trying to understand them better. Where have they come from? What have you got in common with them? So I spent a lot of time just on YouTube listening to some people, giving talks, giving interviews, really trying to pick up from them everything I can, and then I'm going to find a way to reach out to these people. Try and make it very personal, so you really show you've done your research, and like what's in it for them, and also what are you willing to commit. From my perspective, it's a pretty good situation where I don't have to worry about money because my business is providing that income, so I could pretty much travel anywhere. So really, there's tons of opportunity here, and I just need to do a lot more in this area. So put myself as a 4 there, and that's for me a a major discovery for me. So just that one lesson I learned today was worth it. That I need to go out there and do more to find mentors. So I'm going to spend a lot more on that, and you'll be hearing more from me um, about how that goes as this program goes on. The next category to rate yourself from 1 to 10 is on copying the competitors. So I think this is something I do for my clients. I help them work out, what the competition is doing in their niche, what's working, how can we, take the best of everything and put it into a campaign to make it even better. So it's something I've done for my clients, but for myself, I've taken some courses, done some seminars. I've seen what other people are doing out there with the type of online marketing I'm doing, using paid search engine marketing, paid search, paid social, and lead generation as well. And I think that I've learned about as much as I probably can online to get to a certain level, and the next step would maybe be to work for an agency, and that's definitely something I'm going to consider because that might be able to, again, bump my skill level up and learning up to the next level to actually get inside and learn from the best. So there's a few agencies and firms that I'm aware of that are, do great work, and I really want to make sure that I'm working for somewhere where I'm not just doing the basics, like the things I already know now. It has to be something where there's really an opportunity to get in and contribute at a bigger level and grow to something as well. Because I don't just want to go for another 9 to 5 job and then just get bored and quit. So I think the best way to copy the competitors in my situation would be to do what I just said. So I'm going to be doing some research again on where these firms are based and which ones are the best, which ones are hiring, which ones have openings, which ones I've applied to a couple in the past actually got rejected. So I need to look at them again and see if there's another opportunity there. I've rated myself a 5 on that one, so I think again there's a long way to go on that, and I could do much better, and probably could be a lot more humble in that sense as well, not being too proud to take a job again, temporarily to learn my craft really from the best. That's the best investment you can make in yourself, is to do that. So you have to be careful as an entrepreneur. You don't get too proud and too cocky too soon, because when you're starting out, what have you really achieved? You really need to get around the people that have the experience, have the track record, and really learn from them. So that's one area I'm definitely going to do better on. The last one is spending your money on things. If you rate yourself from 1 to 10 on the things you spend your money on, what does that show? So I guess all these ones I've been rating from business perspective, but you could rate these categories, rate these ones against any category of health, wealth, happiness, and love. But just sticking with business for now, spending your money on things, where does that show your investment? I think I probably forked out hundreds and thousands of dollars on all kinds of online courses, software, subscriptions, trying out different tools, different tactics. So I've poured tons of money. I've reinvested lots just to keep learning, just to stay ahead, because things move so fast in the online world. You have to that's the only way you can learn. You really can't learn from free tools the same way you can from getting paid tools. Paid courses, paid subscriptions. So I put myself as a 7 on that because I think I'm doing probably as much as I can right now. I'd love to have more to invest into those areas, but I'm also spending money on other areas like the health and the other areas that I'm trying to grow. So from wealth perspective, I rate myself a 7, and once my business starts earning more, then for sure I will increase that number. And there's a few resources I checked out today where it's on my to-do list. So that'll be the next things I purchase to again jump and grow to the next level. So my average humility score, if you take the total divided by the average, it's 5.5 comes out of 10 is my average humility score, which obviously means my pride is stopping me, and I need to be less cocky, really look around and see who are the successful people and how can I add value to them and how can I approach them. And that's what I've spent all day doing today. So already got a few people shortlisted that I want to approach, and I just need to think about what's the best way to do that, because obviously they're going to get approached by so many people, and why are you any different? So if and when I come up with a good strategy for that, I'll share that. That's pretty much the lessons that has come out today. I did read a bit more on the Focus book, which is coming up in one of the book reviews soon. That was quite interesting. It talks about attention, how we give attention to things, how we get distracted by all the things happening around us, especially with the internet. There's just so many distractions if you're not an online entrepreneur. It's very easy to get pulled away from everything, and that constant distraction, not only for the second it distracts you, but how long it takes to get back to your original focus that happens, 100 times a day, whatever, checking your email, checking your Facebook. This is just crazy, and it's definitely one of the biggest challenges for me, sitting in front of a computer, is not to get distracted all the time. So that's definitely one thing I need to think about. And the part of the book I was reading today was about the attention versus daydreaming. Not to say that daydreaming is not useful, because that's where some of your creative insights can come from, but you need to know when is a time for daydreaming, when is a time for focused attention, and not to just blur those two, because otherwise I don't think you do either one very well. And then it talks a bit about in the book about top-down versus bottom-up thinking. So top-down is where your conscious mind is trying to orchestrate a task to manage something, to get something done. And then the bottom up is something where your attention is pulled towards something, like you see something that attracts you, and that's pretty much what marketing plays to and advertising plays to. It plays on your needs and your wants and your desires, all your basic emotions and those kind of bottom up things. It's all happening at a subconscious level, so you're not even aware some of the times where it's coming from. But it can really affect your decision making. It can affect obviously your attention, your focus. So it's really important to be aware of what kind of influences can pull you again. And TV is a great one. It's just the biggest distraction in the world. And I threw my TV out maybe 8 years ago now, and I haven't really had one since. There's a few things I still watch online, which I choose to watch in my time. Probably if I was more focused and had a clearer vision, I would have no time for that kind of stuff. I used to play a lot of video games as well, and I haven't done for many years. So those kind of things I think is the typical distractions we grow up with. We don't have a clear vision. We don't have a clear focus for our time. You just get pulled around by other people and other things out there that are shiny. So that's definitely a lot to think about. And I'm only 10% through the book, so I'm sure there'll be a lot more to share. So yes, I think that's it for day 3, and we'll be back tomorrow.